Mel Gibson's going to avoid jail time, doesn't have to admit his guilt in this plea. Doesn't have to say he did it. Is that Hollywood justice? Let's find out. Joining me tonight, attorney Darren Kavanaugh, domestic violence advocate Mark Levine, and Corrine Winter, correspondent for our sister network, CNN. Corrine, let me start with you. The scene for Mel Gibson in the courtroom today. When you saw him today, did you see a man who looked like he was sorry, a man who looked like he was beaten down, or did he look like a guy who was going in there and I guess happy with the outcome as he walked out of that courtroom today?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what happened before he made it to that courtroom, Vinny, which blew me away. He pulled up here in his white Toyota Highlander hybrid driving. If I were in Mel's shoes, I wouldn't be anywhere around the driver's wheel. My nerves would have been just to the roof, okay? So he did that. So, I mean, that was a good start, right, to go stepping inside to that hearing. But when he sat down, it seemed as if, you know, he seemed a little defeated. He was definitely nervous. He was polite to the judge and responding to every question that she asked. But you kind of felt sorry for him, which I know I'll probably get attacked on this because this is a domestic violence case.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of that.
For him. It didn't help. Yeah, it didn't help that the press was there, the cameras were rolling. This has to be extremely embarrassing for him. So he kind of came down, you know, a little bit more grounded when he was in front of the judge, but it was a very different scene when he stepped out of the car and strolled. It really was.
Darren Kavanaugh, you're an attorney out there. You know what the norm is. Is this the norm for a man accused of hitting the mother of his child, a domestic abuse case?
Well, obviously, Vinny, the outcome in any given case will depend on the unique facts of that case. But
yada yada yada. Cut to the chase here.
There's two reasons why the accused might get a good deal in any given case. Number one is that they are a stellar human being. Number two is that the prosecution has some difficulty proving all the elements of the case. I'll leave it up to you and the viewers to decide whether or not Mel's a stellar human being. For my money, I suspect it's the latter rather than the former. But, you know, he walked out of here with a sweet deal. Is it celebrity justice? I don't think so. These kinds of pleas under People versus West, where basically a defendant is pleading no contest, not stipulating to the factual basis or the committing the crime itself,
admitting that
but
he
to grab
did
the deal.
Doesn't have to admit that he did it. That's huge.
But doing it explicitly to grab the benefit of a good deal, those are not uncommon, expressly allowed for in the law, and obviously that's what happened here today.
It's going to be 36 months that he's on probation, so he's got to stay out of trouble for 36 months to really enjoy the benefit of it. But it's basically probation without reporting to anyone. Just keep your nose clean.
Right.
Now, Mark Levine, I want you to take a listen to the judge here, because the judge spoke about the protective order in this case. Take a listen.
You are not to annoy, harass, or molest anyone involved in this case. You are not to threaten anyone. You're not to use force or violence against anyone. You are served today with a copy of a protective order, and you're to obey all orders in that protective order, all the terms of it. You are to people, we don't know if there's any restitution amount, but if there is, you're to make restitution to the complaining witness. You are entitled to a hearing. If there's an issue about how much money is owed, you can have a hearing before this court. And Ms. Blair, I understand, Ms. Burkham, I understand he's denying liability for purposes of this hearing.
He is indeed, Your Honor.
Okay. You are to pay a $100 restitution fine to the State Victims Restitution Fund, a $40 court security fine, a $30 criminal conviction fine. Those are all to be paid by June 9, 2011.
Mark Levine, we're talking about a low-level protective order in this case, one where he's allowed to have contact with the victim in the case because they share a child, and there's going to be contact with the child as well. Are you concerned about how this all went down today?
I'm extremely concerned. I think I've had parking tickets more severe than this. This is a slap on the wrist, and it's not one of those Mel Gibson slaps. He claims, he admits he slapped her while she had the child in her arms. But it's more than that. If you look at the allegations of the complaint, he punched her in the face at least twice, breaking 2 of her teeth, causing a concussion. He had his hand on her throat. He threatened to kill her, and he threatened her with a gun. Now, if that's not severe enough to get a man time in jail, then either this is Hollywood justice, or what I fear is that this is too common throughout America.
And that may very well be, Mark. We're going to talk more about this. Don't go anywhere. We got more on Mel's day in court, plus this. Welcome back to Prime News. We're talking about Mel Gibson tonight. He takes the plea and avoids jail in a domestic violence case. Here are the specifics of the deal. No contest, but maintains his innocence. Didn't have to actually say he did it. He'll get 36 months of unsupervised probation. That means you're on probation, but you don't have to report to probation. You see? You just have to stay out of trouble. Pays a fine. He's got to continue 52 weeks of his domestic violence anger management, and he does 2 days of charity work. How about that? Donna's in Ohio tonight. Donna, how about Mel's deal tonight? Do you think it's sweet?
Yeah, as I told your producer, I think it's irresponsible journalism to call it a sweet deal.
Why is that?
You're assuming that he's guilty. I mean, the evidence that I've seen only on TV has been accusations and the questionable recorded phone calls.
All right, Donna, so you're still presuming him innocent, even if there's nolo contendere, no contest plea. All right, Donna, fair enough, because he didn't enter a factual basis. Darren Kavinoki, should we consider this man still innocent today after entering a no contest plea?
First of all, I want to say I love Donna. Donna, wherever you are, I hope I see you on your jury. That's right. Should we consider him to be innocent? Well, he's been convicted based on that no contest plea. I think you can consider, though, that there are some serious questions about what happened, because we had the allegations to support whatever it was that's been reported in the media.
Okay.
But though, as Donna points out, those were just the allegations. By the way, don't overlook the seriousness of his being on informal probation. Look at the situation that Lindsay Lohan is in right now.
Exactly.
Where
he's got to stay out of trouble.
Probation.
But he gets into trouble,
right.
he's in bigger trouble. Mark Levine,
that's right.
Is there a message that we should take out of this tonight when it comes to domestic abuse cases? Is a wrong message being sent tonight?
I don't think we punish them harshly enough. I really don't. We have people that have nonviolent use of drugs that go to jail for months on end, sometimes years. And here is the allegations, if they are to be believed. And let me tell you something. I don't think the L.A. District Attorney's Office just puts these allegations in there willy-nilly. If they are to believe, this is a man who could have been charged with felony domestic violence and be put in jail for a year. So I get it. It's a plea bargain. But he needs to serve some time. Otherwise, people look at Mel Gibson and say, oh, well, I can hit my wife.
Not only is he not serving time, though, again, he's not admitting that he did it. Mark Levine, Darren Kavinoki, thanks so much. Go ahead, Kareem. All right, thank you all so much.
I really disagree with that. I think we're forgetting the big picture, the big point of the kids involved here.
Absolutely, and we're going to talk about that later on in the program. Thank you so much, everyone. Now,